verifiable stud, but he goes from Deshaun Watson to Tua. What are your expectations? What does the data tell you about Will Fuller?
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
May be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Threats. How about Will Fuller? Played 11 games last year. Shocked. Didn't play 16 again. 75 targets.
Hey, he stayed healthy, though. He stayed healthy.
I know,
that wasn't
which is
injury.
I know. That's what's so frustrating about it. It's like, oh my God, for the one time he's healthy. The one time he's freaking healthy, the guy gets suspended and still only plays 11 games. You're like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what can we do to get this guy on the field? 75 targets, 53 receptions, 879 yards, 8 touchdowns in 11 games.
No doubt you're going from a quarterback downgrade from Deshaun Watson to Tua, but also like this wide receiver room, this pass catcher room, throwing Mike Gesicki in there too, is going to be a lot more crowded than the Houston Texans were last year. It's basically Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and nothing. Tua's out there saying that, you know, he didn't know the playbook. Well, probably should know the playbook, right? Probably should know that. But I think it just goes to the overall, like, not great. Like, just not, I just don't think he was ever fully like ready or embraced by the last coaching staff. You know, like Chan Gailey clearly wanted Ryan Fitzpatrick out there, not Tua. Maybe like Fitzpatrick free in 2021, Tua really lets it all hang out. He becomes more of the type of quarterback that we want to see. I think that's definitely possible. I'm leaving that open. And if you look at the cast of characters around him, Will Fuller included, this is a really good group of pass catchers. Yeah. Will Fuller specifically, they basically just took Will Fuller, did the 2020 Texans, and just tossed him into DeAndre Hopkins' vacated number 1 wide receiver spot. Fuller was really, really good in that role, not just from a production standpoint, 78th percentile against press coverage, which was a career best mark for Will Fuller. He fell below the NFL average success rate on just one route. Last year, the out route, 64% was below the NFL average, but everything else was at or above the average last year. He was awesome as a layup guy. He was awesome as a quick separator off the line of scrimmage. And I think that's really another thing that Tua lacked. I'm not super bullish on taking one of these players over the other in fantasy, but if I had to put a chip on one, it would be Fuller, because I think he's the best player. And I think he has the skill set that can best overlap with Tua.
You know, talk about his success rate against man, because when I kind of take an eyeball glance at what he did really throughout his career in terms of what you've tracked thus far, the numbers look okay, but they don't look great, you know?
No doubt. No, definitely. Like, I would say he is right at the average in terms of, you know, like 56th percentile last year against man coverage. And to be fair, that was one of his best seasons, right? Well, this is the big question with Will Fuller, is what we saw in 2020 a legitimate breakthrough, or is it an outlier? I also think you always have to put in context with Will Fuller, like running a lot of downfield routes. We ran a really high amount of slant routes as well. So that does depress the overall success rates when you're running 9 routes at above average rate, running a lot of out routes, dig routes, that type of stuff. So the fact that he has always been a downfield player will bring down his overall man coverage success rates. I still think for a vertical threat, he's one of the best in the league. And the thing that I really want to see, you know, be sticky from year to year is those success rate on slants, the comebacks, the curls, everything like that. Like, let's get him running more of those routes. And like, don't, you know, miss me with, if you're going to come in here and be like, he's taking PEDs last year, so of course he's never going to be that good again. You don't know what Will Fuller was taking, you know, like, unless you're Will Fuller's like a drug test guy, don't come at me with that take. When you get down to Will Fuller, who's going in the range of guys like DJ Chark, Robbie Anderson, Tyler Boyd, Deebo Samuel, Juju, there's probably a chance that I'm taking Will Fuller in that range too.